What are the people from whom, or who are those people that from whom the grave questions are not asked? Well, to answer this question, let me give you a reference of the book and explain that book a little bit before I tell you these categories. By the way, there are 8 of them. 8 kinds of people are there that they're not asked any questions in the grave. This list is compiled in a book called Raddul Muhtar ala Durrul Mukhtar. Now, Raddul Muhtar is a commentary. It's a commentary which is like a hashia or an annotation-based commentary on another book called Durrul Mukhtar. Now, Raddul Muhtar was written by Ibn Abidin al-Shami. He was from Syria, Damascus. This book was written in 1700s, and this was written during the Ottoman rule. And this is one of the foundation books and commentary in the Hanafi fiqh. And this book is also known by the name of Fatawa al-Shami. I'm just giving you this reference so that you understand what is this book. And this is a book of commentary or annotative commentary on the jurisprudence in the Hanafi fiqh. And Radd al-Muhtar basically means guidance or guiding the baffled. Ala Durr al-Mukhtar means so that the baffled can understand this chosen pearl, which is another book called Durr al-Mukhtar. Now, Durr al-Mukhtar itself is a detailed commentary of another book called Tanweer al-Absar. And Durr al-Mukhtar was written by Muhammad Ali ud-Din Haskafi, another one from Damascus, Syria region, just 100 years before Radd al-Muhtar was written by Ibn Abidin. This book was written in 1600s, and this is the sharah, detailed commentary of Tanweer al-Absar. So in this sharah, wherever Ibn Abidin noticed that people had questions about the sharah itself, that they didn't understand certain points, he wrote annotation on those points that, okay, this is what is meant by this point, which is explained by Allama Haskafi rahimahullah. And then, what is this book Tanweer al-Absar? Tanweer al-Absar is actually a book of Hanafi Islamic jurisprudence book that was written in 1500s by Muhammad bin Abdullah Tamartashi, and this was also written in Syria and Damascus. And Tanweer al-Absar basically means the illumination of sight or enlightenment of sight. So after you have understood the meanings of these books, now let me come to what is written in Fatawa Shami in Radd al-Muhtar, volume number 2, page 191. He writes that these are the people in the light of hadith, several hadiths. He has compiled this list in Fatawa Shami. ثم ذكر أن من لا يسأل ثمانية. These are the 8 categories of people who are not asked grave questions. Number 1, الشهيد, the one who is a martyr. Now here you need to distinguish. There is Shaheed al-Hukmi and there is Shaheed al-Haqiqi. Shaheed al-Haqiqi is the one who dies in the battlefield, that or in that capacity of that you would call a martyr. Shaheed al-Hukmi is the one who will be categorized as a shaheed on the Day of Judgment. For example, the one who dies of getting burned or dies of drowning and things of that, or dies of the stomach-based disease, things of that nature. There's a whole list of Shaheed al-Hukmi. If you want, I can share with you that list as well next time. Please let me know in the comment section below. And then the second one, beside al-Shaheed, is Al-Murabit. Who is Al-Murabit? Murabit is the one who guards the borders of the country, of Islamic Empire, so that the enemy cannot enter. So he's basically guarding the country. He is basically giving out so much of his time and energy to make sure that the people get peace inside. So Al-Murabitu. Third one is Al-Mat'un, the one who dies in the ta'un, a pandemic, plague. And some ulama during the time of COVID have also described al-mat'un was the plague in those times. They didn't have any other form of pandemic, but this would apply to anything that would be considered a pandemic, a widespread disease that would affect people, and it transmits from one person to another at a large scale. Back in those days, it was the ta'un, the plague. And then وَالْمَيِّتُ زَمَنَ الطَّاعُونِ بِغَيْرِهِ إِذَا كَانَ صَابِرًا مُحْتَسِبًا. And the one who dies during the days of plague, but from a different disease, and he stays in that region with the thing that, nobody can escape death. But I shouldn't be the reason that this disease gets out of this area into other areas and spread it. And that's exactly what we notice in the COVID days, that the people were the carrier of COVID-19. It was not affecting them. Rather, they became a carrier of it, and they started spreading it. And COVID-19 had several variations too. It took almost 5 to 7 days for the symptoms to come out. But in those 5 to 7 days, this person has affected so many people that this person met with. And over the period of time, we know that viruses mutate themselves, so that's why we had several variations of this particular disease, which affected different people at different level based on their immunity, based on the environment, based on what variant came in that country or region, and so on and so forth. So anyway, the one who dies during the pandemic days or from any other disease but that disease itself, and he was sabir, he was patient, and he relied on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give him reward for any kind of calamity that he would face in these times. And was-siddiqu, and the pious, righteous person, those who are the awliya, those people will also not be asked questions in the grave. So that's another thing you probably might have heard from some of the ulama, that the awliya will also be in that category where the questions of grave have not been asked from them. And this is the reason that it is through this particular source and many other sources, of course, where the list is compiled and this category also comes in. And wal atfal, and then the children who have not reached the age of puberty. Doesn't matter what the religion of their parents is. Their parents could be Christians, Jewish, pagans, atheists. Doesn't matter. Muslim children whose parents are of any religion, because that doesn't affect the children. The children's book of deed has not yet opened. They died at an age where the book of deeds is not open. So that's why they are also not asked questions in the grave. And inshallah, irrespective of the faith of their parents, they will all stay in the company of Ibrahim alayhi salam in barzakh till the day of judgment happens, and then they will meet their parents. Now, another question that is related to this, parents ask that, will I be able to stay with my child in Jannah and the child will stay as a child forever? No. Anybody who died at any age, doesn't matter, a newborn, or all the way till the old age, or might have died in the womb of the mother but had received the soul, all of these individuals will enter Jannah at one age, at the same age. So it's not like those who died children will enter children, those who died older age will enter older age. No, everybody will enter Jannah at a young age, as a young individual. Even these people, even these kids. Yes, these kids will be kids on the Day of Judgment. They will stay kids till they enter the Jannah. And these are the kids that about whom it comes in the hadith that if their parents were believers but maybe sinners in some one capacity or the other, these children will sit by the doors of Jannah and will not enter into it, and then will make dua to Allah, will make a plea to Allah, that, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do a shafa'ah for their parents, that, oh Allah, I will not enter the Jannah until and unless my parents enter the Jannah with me. Subhanallah. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will fulfill their shafa'ah by making the parents go with the child in the Jannah. May Allah make it easy for all of us. So this is another category. Then the next category is وَالْمَيِّتُ يَوْمَ الْجُمْعَةِ أَوْ لَيْلَتَهَا, the one who dies on the Friday day or the Friday night. Now it is a very important thing for you to understand. What is the Friday night? Friday night is that night that you spend, and the day was Thursday. So on the Thursday after Maghrib starts the Friday night. And the next day is the Friday day. So next day is the Yawmul Jum'ah, where you pray the Salatul Jum'ah. So that night of the Thursday is the Yawmul Jum'ah night. So anybody who died that night of Thursday, because in the Islamic calendar, date changes by the Salat al-Maghrib, by the Maghrib, the next date, because it is based on lunar calendar, not solar calendar. So the date switches by the next, by Maghrib. So it is the right night of Thursday and the day of the Friday. So anybody who dies within those 24 hours, they are also not asked questions in the grave. It is the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of the Yawm al-Jum'ah. Yawm al-Jum'ah itself has a lot of virtues. Inshallah, we can talk about it sometime. But you need to let me know if you want me to tell you the categories of the Shaheed al-Hukmi, those who are categorized as Shaheed but are not martyrs in the battlefield. The last of them who is not asked questions in the grave, وَالْقَارِئُ كُلَّ لَيْلَةٍ تَبَارَكَ الْمُلْكِ, the one who recites Surah Al-Mulk every night is also not asked questions in the grave. Subhanallah. Subhanallah, subhanallah. So this is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are the 8 categorization. The martyr, the one who guards the borders, the one who dies in a plague, the one who dies from another disease during the plague time and is believing that Allah will give him reward, and then the awliya, as-siddiq, and then the children, and then the one who dies on the Friday night or during the day of the Friday, or the one and the one who recites Surah Al-Mulk every night. So these are the 8 categories.